So now that you made me feel like I'm nothing without you, and now that we're no longer together, now I gotta show you the type of bitch that I can really be. You know what I mean?
Talk your shit.
It's just like, it's not okay.
Men need women. Point blank. Period. That's how it's been since the beginning of time. If men did not need women, you know what I'm saying? God would not have given Adam Eve. You feel me?
AP, that's it.
Welcome to AP.7 Podcast, the podcast for the good guys by good guys that be having no BS conversations. Look, before I even move on to what the topic will be about, I need you guys to do me a favor. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure to follow us on all our socials at AP.set __. That's EPIDASIT __. This episode is everything women. We're talking about women in society, women in this current times. Now, I have my sister here with me, for sure. You feel me? But before I move on, though, I do want to say this. This month is all about the women. So we would have a lot of women guests. And I suggest you guys really tune in every Monday at 6 because you do not want to miss the conversations that will be going on here. So without further ado, let us start the show. You feel me? All right, Shara.
What's up?
My sister, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yes, sir. So you already know how it is. 3 questions. You already know how it goes. Who you are, what you do, and how you feeling right now.
All right, cool. My name is Shara. I have my own YouTube channel, Life with Shara. Subscribe. Do I mention the fact that I have a job? I don't know.
Who cares? Entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? Content creator.
And I'm feeling great right now. I'm feeling calm, feeling cool.
Okay, that's good. All right, so like I mentioned, this is Women's Month, and this episode right now is all about everything women. So my first question for you feel me, is how would you describe your day-to-day experience as a woman? Like, how does that look like? Because, we're trying to really help the guys understand that, like I was talking to my brother, that we need you guys, you know what I'm saying? We need women to coexist, point blank, period. So to help the guys understand the struggles that you guys go through on a day-to-day, like, what is that experience like?
Day-to-day, I feel like it would be like, the best way to describe it to me, a lot of stairs, in a sense. Like, especially for me, like, RBF, whatever. Most people have it, some people don't. Lucky you. But I feel like, especially at the job that I have, and for context, I work at a supermarket, whatever. And at my job, this company in specific, they want you to be happy, joy, perky most of the time, right? And with them, it's like sometimes don't nobody want to be all happy, joy, whatever, acting like a lollipop. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. So I always want you to be joyful and happy. Like, I'm fighting demons. You want me to be happy? I'm fighting demons at home.
Right? Like,
I'm trying my hardest here, man.
Like, it's a 5 a.m. shift. Who trying to come up in here all...
5 a.m. is crazy.
Come on now. You know what I mean? So most of the time, like, a lot of these customers, some privileged, I guess you could say, they expect you to reciprocate, that happy energy that the company wants you to do. But, and I feel like when I first started working there, the pressure of, 1, being black, because there's not that many black people there, and then 2, being a woman who doesn't come off as like this happy joy most of the time, is just like, I feel like I'm forced to kind of be, basically pretend to be someone I'm not, in a sense. You know what I mean? So other than that, I feel like that right there would most likely sum up the day-to-day basis of a woman. Because, on the bus, have stairs by men. Go to the gym, you feel uncomfortable because you're surrounded by men.
The gym is crazy. That's crazy. That's something going on crazy right now.
Go to the corner store, surrounded by men most of the time. So it's just like a bunch of stairs wherever you go most of the time.
Okay, I understand. You had mentioned something about RBF. Can you explain what that is to the people that don't know?
Can I curse?
Yeah, please go ahead. Cool.
RBF is resting bitch face.
Oh, wow. Oh. Okay.
Now, RBF is something that I feel like a lot of women tend to get judged off of immediately.
Yeah,
because they feel like, especially those very entitled men, I guess you could say, who kind of want to be like, why don't you got a smile on? Give me a smile, whatever.
Cat
Like,
caller.
no, you know what I mean? And, I feel like as women, because we're supposed to, I guess you could say, exude, like, that feminine energy in a sense. And,
Facts.
like, we're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to be perky. We're supposed to be la-di-da-da, it's a lovely day. You know what I mean? And it's just, in reality, it's not like that. You know what I mean?
True. I mean, and I want to touch something that you said, a lot of the thing with the RBF. But the thing about RBF is your look stink. Like, you not true. I'm just saying, like, a lot of girls resting bitch face is so stink, and you look bad when you do that. Like, a lot of them, and a lot of times too, most of y'all be forcing it. Like, you be seeing it, and it's like we see through that shit. Because once we say a low joke, and then you weak. You know what I'm saying? So we see through that. You know what I'm saying? But okay, RBF, resting bitch face. I want to mention something too that you said about women in the gym. That seems to be a big thing going on right now, where a lot of women don't feel safe, to the point where I think it's called something watcher. I think it's a gym watcher, where it's like it's a term where it's like men are like preying on the women to wait and see if they need help. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they could go and help. So now the guys right now, it's a thing where the guys are starting to be very careful in terms of approaching a woman in the gym, even if they need help or not, because they don't want to be seen as a gym watcher, whatever you call it. Okay. So that's the day-to-day basis in your life. And I'm glad that you brought that up about how your job is, how you're predominantly how you're mostly the dark-skinned women there. So my question is, do you feel like there's a different treatment between black women and, the other colored women, or the other, women in your job?
Oh, definitely. At my job, well, okay. So right now we're a year in at the new location. Okay. And in the beginning, a lot of crew members suspected that some of the managers were racist, I guess you could say, right? And in some parts you could see it as in the way like they approach certain people. So for me, I feel like, the managers at my job, in a sense, kind of like are hesitant to come to me, or when they do come to me, they seem like jittery sometimes, or like they feel like when they're about to tell me something that's gonna upset me, I'm gonna automatically like jump. And it's just like, anyone who knows me knows I'm not the froggy type, you know what I mean? Like I'm very settled, very calm. I could take feedback, you know what I mean? Okay. But with like the, I guess you could say, white women or lighter skinned women or whatever, a lot of them do tend to be like on the perkier side, happier side, whatever. I don't know if that's a facade or if that's like who they actually are. If it is, then, cool, whatever. But usually a lot of managers are more approachable to, I guess you could say, by the book people. Okay. The squeaky clean people, in a sense,
Gotcha. Okay, then, so that's in your job. So now, how do you think is that like now in general? So you think that's a treatment in general when it comes to,
Well, honestly, like, in this day and age, it kind of like bounces around from what I've seen. Because I guess let's bring it back to like when I was in like middle school, for a sense, right? When I was in middle school, from what I've seen, most guys wanted someone who was like brown skin or like lighter, right? Obviously, I'm not brown skin.
It's okay. We appreciate the melanin. You feel me?
What do we call it? So, usually most guys didn't really like pay attention to me, not only because I was dark skinned, but because, I was on the heavier side, whatever. And it was up until I got into high school where I guess you could say I started to like start walking into my sexy, in a sense. Gotcha. Because that's when all of a sudden dark skins were like, that thing. They were that thing, you know what I mean? Like the curvy girls is where it's at. Like, like we need to start paying attention to darker women because, they're more, susceptible, I guess you could say, to light skins or whatever. But then sometimes people prefer light skins over dark skins when you go on social media. So honestly, it honestly bounces around, and honestly, I guess you could say it pertains to like where you're at in some point in time. You know what I mean?
I feel you. Okay then. So now I want to switch it up a little bit, right? Because you had mentioned about going back in middle school times and stuff. So, like, how was that to your mental when you were seeing that, most of the time the people that were being chosen were the brown skin and the lighter side? Like, did that have any type of effect on you?
Oof. The way I look now is literally the same exact way I looked back in middle school. Like, facial structure, everything. Only difference that I know how to dress and I know how to do my hair. That's literally it. But other than that, like, I literally, like, look the exact same. It's weird how when you're younger and when you're being bullied and when you're in those situations where you're surrounded by, I guess you could say, more attractive people, where you then feel small or you feel ugly or you don't feel like, you're the best looking, I guess you could say.
Got you.
But then all of a sudden, like, the older I got, it's like the more I started looking at myself, I'm just like, you're kind of cute. You know what I mean? Like, you're not that bad looking.
Yeah.
And then to not only, like, start looking at myself in that way, but then to kind of start getting the, I guess you could say, approval from men. And, like, guys I was talking to and stuff like that. It's just like, okay, like, you're not that bad looking. But as a kid, it was kind of, like, messed up because I would, like, hide away in a sense.
Yeah.
And my mom, love her, I swear I do, but she definitely didn't make it any better when she would say, like, guys are only gonna want you for this and only gonna want you for that and blah 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 blah. And she definitely, like, drilled that into my head, and I'm sitting here like, damn, like, what am I gonna do? Like, am I never gonna have a kid? Like, am I gonna have to adopt or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, as a kid, you're just like, you're wondering, like, will I ever, like, find that someone? Like, I'm 11, you know what I mean? I shouldn't be thinking about that. I should be like,
that's really crazy. 11, 12-year-olds talking about thinking about boyfriend and girlfriend.
Like,
that's crazy.
Why? And it's annoying because you're young. Like, you shouldn't be sitting here trying to put yourself, like, on a standard. True. And trying to, be cute for the fellas, I guess you could say. And, like, the way that my school was arranged around the time definitely didn't make it any better. Jeez. For context, I went to my 11. And what is it? The way that they had the lunchrooms, it would be the girls on the girl side and the boys on the boy side. So as a heavyset girl and knowing that you're, I guess you could say, like, the ugly one out of the group, the ugly duckling in a sense, like, you just feel like someone is always watching you. Like, you feel like someone is just waiting for you to mess up just so they could laugh at you and end up posting it on social media. Yeah. So, yeah.
That was that side of life. I'm glad that you also mentioned that you love your mom and all that, but she didn't make things better. So my question to you is, do you feel like the older generation, or, do you feel like you were raised properly, or did you have to learn a couple of stuff by yourself?
Do I feel like I was raised properly?
Whatever that looks like.
Yes and no. Like, I feel like I was definitely raised to, respect who respects me, true. The basics. But do I feel like I was raised to respect myself? No. Because one thing I wish that my mother did differently raising me was kind of like less, oh, boys are going to want you for this and boys are going to want you for that, and more like, you're beautiful. Wow. This is what you are. So like, you know what I mean? Like, I wish, like, because granted, she calls me beautiful now. But sometimes when she does it now, it's kind of just like, in my mind, it's kind of like a too late thing because, like, I already know, right? Like, I already know. You should have told me this when I was 13.
When we needed you the most.
When we needed you the most, you know what I mean? And
I hear that. Nah, for sure.
Like, and it's just like sometimes I just I question, like, like, why is it that that was your way of raising me? Because I understand, like, 9 times out of 10, that's how her parents, so my grandparents raised her. Yes, but at the same time, my mom, I've noticed that, like, she corrects her mistakes as, every child, I guess you could say. Okay. So for example, like, let's start off with my half brother. Boy, was that, we're not even gonna get into that. Okay. But, like, he, some mistakes with that one. So it's like, okay, let me correct it. Let me further I guess you could say the sternness or whatever. Let me further the discipline, whatever, on this child. Let's see how this works out. Okay, that didn't really work out too much. Okay, let's go to the third child. let's add a little more love into this one, but still be stern. Okay, he's receptive. Cool. Now with this one, let's talk about me here. So I'm the second girl, and with the first girl, not much. There was a lot going on with that. So with the way my mom raised the first girl, definitely reflecting on how she raised me.
Okay.
Because she was definitely a little more stern on me, talking about no boys, no parks, no going out, no this, no that, whatever. Exactly. Like, I didn't start like after school programs and stuff like that. I didn't really start going out with friends and stuff like that till high school. So like in middle school, like after school programs, like that was a very, very rare occasion for me. And if it was an after school program, it was academic based. Okay. So with my mom, I just, once again, love her. But I do wish she, talked about loving ourselves more. Yeah. And less the whole, this is what society is going to view you as. Yeah. So you need to make sure you don't do this. And kind of just embracing ourselves and stuff like that, Okay,
that's great. That's great that you mentioned that, which is where I want to talk about too. So in your current state right now, are you proud to be a woman? Because a lot of the stuff that's been happening lately is, women want to be men. Like, not saying like training wise yet, but in terms of like, boys got it easy. I wish I was a man type of talk instead of, just embracing who they are. So that's my question to you. Are you proud, like where you are right now, are you proud to actually be a woman?
Personally, I don't give a fuck. that's just like how I like, and you can see it in the way I dress too. Like, I just don't care. Like, there are some men, like I'll go out in my little crop tops, my little shorts, whatever, and there are men who will stare at me and I just will not blink an eye because I just don't care. Because at some point during high school, when was it? Can't remember honestly, but at some point during high school, I just genuinely just stopped giving a fuck. Because I'm just like, you know what? I'm just wear what I want. People gonna have their comments, whatever. I don't care. I'm gonna just do what I do best. I just call it a day. And to the women who shy away, feel like they gotta cover themselves up because they getting stares, man, fuck them.
Fuck them.
Just call it a day.
Nah, that's good. That's good. Damn, that's good. I appreciate that. So now you had mentioned that you obviously, I know y'all see the makeup, feel me? Slay. You feel me? So you're in the beauty world, you're talking about loving yourself more. Do you think that the beauty, like there's like a beauty standard that exists right now in today's society?
When I got on TikTok, like, I was just watching people TikTok wise, that's when like I started to see like the different types of women that there really are. Like, there are some women who are like, gotta have the contour. My face gotta be snatched. Everything gotta be, sucked in, whatever. And then you have women who don't care. You have women who, have acne. They're like, here are my scars. And you have women who, have different style of taste and stuff like that. So will I say, do I feel like there are men out there who have their personal beauty standards? Definitely. But do I feel like over time, society has become more open to different levels of, beauty or whatever? Definitely.
Okay. So then would you say that society or social media is the one that validates that standard?
Definitely.
Sheesh.
Because the thing is, you could come on social media, post whatever you want to post, right? But then it's up to that girl or guy, whoever scrolls upon that video, to basically judge it at the end of the day. And then it's up to you on whether or not you're going to allow whatever they say to affect you, whether it is good or bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, then I appreciate that. So then would you say that, because you said that when whoever posts what it is that they post, it comes to the person that comments and stuff like that. But what about the women who actually pushes the standards and stuff like that? So would you say that it's really up to the person that comments it, or to really that beauty influencer, or just that women that really push that standard up to put it where it's at?
I do feel like there are a lot of, now that you mention it, I do feel like there are a lot of influencers who kind of push the idea of kind of just like eyebrows got to be fleek, cheeks got to be up, and everything kind of has to be perfect. in a sense.
There you go. That's what
In order to be susceptible to a man. You know what I mean? And I feel like, how do I say this? I feel like a lot of influencers have set a beauty standard in which cannot be reached. And for like, you know, I guess you could say basic people like myself in a sense, where it's like, you know, like there's a obvious difference between us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And especially with like, let's say, lighter skinned women, you know, a lot of them are praised for their beauty, whatever. But then there are ever so very few dark skinned women who are able to, you know, reach there on TikTok and be seen for, you know, their beauty and what their version of beauty is and, you know, their makeup and stuff like that. So I don't know.
Exactly. And I'm glad that you touched that because a lot of the times what these beauty people, I don't say these beauty people, but a lot of the time what women don't understand is that, especially for the dark skinned women, they're not making these products for y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like these products are for the lighter skins, or you know what I'm saying? They're not really out here making a lot of good products for a lot of dark skinned women. So which is why I'm trying to say, like, I'm gonna tell you right now, straight up, man, we don't care. You know what I'm saying? We don't care about these. Listen, if you're beautiful, man. If you have a good facial routine, I know it's going to take a lot. You really don't need the makeup. You know what I'm saying? Like the guys don't really care about that. You know what I'm saying? And we don't like having to see two different people when the makeup is on and when the makeup is off. That is catfishing. We don't rock with that. Like, it's okay to be nasty. No, I'm sorry. Like, I got to say these things. We being real here. You feel me? I'm telling you, we do not care about all that makeup. It's crazy that makeup has become such a standard that women cannot even leave the house without even doing just a little bit of thing. Like, even if it's the eyebrows, or if it's just a soft beat, or even if it's just a little eyeliner, like, they need the enhancement in order to feel pretty. And I feel like the beauty has to really come from the inside. You feel me? And not from what, you know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, definitely.
outside people see.
Nah, I see what you're saying.
So now I got a question for you. With the beauty standards and all that, right? Because I ask this question a lot myself when I see, you know, a friend of mine or whatever wears a makeup to go outside and stuff. Do you guys actually wear the makeup for you, or do you guys actually wear the makeup for the men?
You know, it really depends. It really, really depends. Because one thing, like, everything I do, like, the way I dress, the way I do my makeup is always been for me. You know what I mean? But for my boyfriend, right? When we had, like, first started dating, I don't know what it was about me, son. But I just couldn't accept the fact that, you know, like, he liked me for me, in a sense, right? So a lot of times whenever I would go see him, I would have something of makeup on, like, in the beginning, basically. So it would, like, either be my eyebrows done, my dark marks, you can't see them, like, something would be concealed, something would be on my face.
Got you.
So I feel like when it comes to it depends on the type of guy that we're with, is if, like, you know, if it is for him.
Okay.
Because, you know, women are always talking about how, you know, like, they need a man to, like, make them submissive or something like that and be able to really express their femininity and stuff like that.
Got you.
So, you know, it really depends on, like, the guy that they're with.
Okay.
So, and, like, where they're at mentally. But after my boyfriend made it very clear that he didn't, you know, need me to wear that, and, you know, like, he prefers me to be natural. Whatever the hell the case may be.
We love that.
I was just like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. And at that point, I just started coming to his house in any way. I didn't care.
Bonnet
on, edges not fixed, wig on, you know, like, it was just like, okay.
Yeah, see, and that's the truth, man, because, you know, like I said, we really just love you for you, and that's just what it is. So this might be a little controversial, you know what I'm saying, but I gotta ask it. So, like I had mentioned before with the, you know, trans and stuff like that. So do you think that trans women should be celebrated how natural, you know,
Unnatural women are celebrated.
Unnatural women are celebrated. Yeah.
Yes. Because.
Oh, okay.
I know there are some women who will be like, well, they don't really know what it feels like to really be a woman. Like, they don't really know, whatever. Like, everyone will have their opinions. But me personally, I do feel like they should be celebrated the same way a woman does. Simply because a lot of them, what women go through equals to exactly what they go through during that transitioning period. Whereas like they're being harassed, they're being told they're not a real woman, they're being, they're just being bullied online until they can actually look like a real woman. Like what's her name? Nikita? Is that her name? Nikita?
Yeah, Nikita Dragon.
Yeah, Nikita Dragon. Like when she was in that transition period, she was definitely getting bullied, definitely getting harassed until she was able to look like a real woman. Yeah. And now she was like, now y'all can't say shit. Because it's just like, I got everything a real woman does. You know what I mean? So it's like, granted, there are definitely some women that are going to be pissed about what I said, whatever. But with the amount of what they go through, especially with social media and, just being bashed consistently because of, who they want to be or whatever. Yeah. I just let them rock,
Okay, so then here's what I'm saying, though. So, okay, once again, I'm having a conversation because we're going to have it. So you said, yes, it should be celebrated as a woman. So are you saying that the experience makes them a woman, or is it, the appearance that makes them a woman?
Good question.
Because you said that, they go through the same experiences, that women go through in terms of harassment and in terms of, what I'm saying, in terms of harassment, or is it the bullying and stuff like that? But
right.
Do trans women go through menstrual cycles? Can they get pregnant? Those are the two things that qualifies you, and amongst other things that makes you a woman, besides just your experience or your outer appearance.
Right.
So, that's what I'm saying. Like you said, though, a lot of women going to be upset that you're saying, like, oh, yes, they should be celebrated.
Right.
Both points is there's points in both sides, So I just wanted to touch on that and just so, see what you think about it. Because, yeah, the experience is very different.
No, definitely. I mean, I'm not saying that they're exactly the same. But with what each has gone through, at some point, it reaches the same level, in a sense. True. Because, like, trans women definitely get harassed. Women definitely get harassed.
True.
Both get assaulted. Granted, they don't have a menstrual cycle. They're not going to give birth anytime soon. We all know that. But at the end of the day, like, what's society's definition of truly being a woman?
Sure. Okay. And I'm glad you said that too, because once again, we're not coming at anybody, but in terms of the title of the podcast, which is Women in Society, in terms of that title, if we correlate it with the title, that's true that, the experience that they go through in terms of harassment, trans women, they should still be celebrated. You know what I'm saying?
It's a touchy subject. But for me,
it's a touchy subject.
I'm for all the people. You know what I'm saying?
I got to feel me like, hey, I may not accept it, I may not approve it, but you're still love. You know what I'm saying? I still love you. It's like Tim Ross said. Tim Ross said, I don't agree with it, but I love you. You feel me? It may not be an agreement with me, but I still love you. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody got to do it.
Right.
God still love you too. Jesus still love you too. So I gotta love you if he loves you, But I just agree with it. You feel me?
Understandable.
All right, so boom. Now here's my next question to you, right? There's this whole stigma going on right now about a man having a podcast, You know what I'm saying? And apparently it's this big thing that it's a red flag. How you feel about everybody or just men in general having a podcast right now?
Personally.
Talk your shit.
With the men I've been seeing with the mic
Oh, Lord.
so far, don't really deserve the mic. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them, they just be talking BS for the most part.
I agree.
Like, they just be chatting out their ass for the most part. And I'm just sitting here like, what? And like, I'm happy that my boyfriend is not one of those people that be like, yeah, he talking facts. And there are so many guys who will watch those videos and they'll be like, yeah, he really spitting right now. It's just like, what is he spitting?
Yeah, nah, that's true.
Like, what is he really talking about?
True. And I'm glad you touched on that because I'm not going to lie. Damn, am I part of this generation? Man, I'm saying your generation is fucked. Like, your generation is fucked. And
definitely.
It's a lot of, it's a lot of different type of agendas, or it's a lot of different type of morals now that is different when it comes to your generation. So my next question to you is like, how would you define feminism? What is feminism to you?
Feminism?
Yeah.
Child. Feminism.
Or the whole movement in general. How is it for you right now in your generation? Because for me in my generation, feminism, it was something. Because they would tell you, they would. So right now, how I see it right now, feminism right now in this current generation, what they're pushing is that you don't need a man for anything. You could do it yourself. Niggas ain't shit. Push it yourself.
As you should.
No, not as you should. Not as you should. This is not. No.
What?
I'm gonna have to disagree with that.
Okay.
We need each other. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Men need a women. Point blank. Period. That's how it's been since the beginning of time. If men did not need women, you know what I'm saying? God would not have given Adam Eve. You feel me? We need each other to coexist. Everybody needs somebody. So the fact that feminism's, is just out here pushing that idea, that you don't need men for anything, I feel like it's wrong. And I just want you to touch on that. How do you feel? Do you feel like they doing what they doing is right, or? Okay.
So not every woman is lucky to come across a guy like you. Not every woman. Not every woman. Not every woman is lucky to come across a guy like my brother. You know what I mean?
That made my night.
So it's just like some of these women, yes, to you it might be like, oh, like they doing too much, like they trying to like rep Miss Independent, whatever. But it's for a solid reason. There are women like that when they're trying to rep Miss Independent. It's because of the fact that they came across a guy that made them feel like that they couldn't do nothing without them. So my first relationship, it was with this guy who made me feel like he was just like my everything. Like we was finna get married. Like we was locked in tight like a booty hole. You feel me? And then when the relationship ended, it was just like, like my heart is broken. Like, oh my God. Like I feel like, like I'm in bits and pieces, whatever. Like, like women go through these traumatic heartbreaks that then make them more powerful and then make them realize, like I can do so much without this nigga. I got out of that relationship and then I started my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? So got out of that relationship and then I started investing more in school, started investing more in friends. Like you have a life outside of men. So it's not that we're trying to come off as like, Miss Independent, like we don't need men, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. It's just the simple fact that we come across these ain't shit niggas, right? We come across these ain't shit niggas that make us feel like we're the bottom, like we're nothing, whatever, without them. So now that you made me feel like I'm nothing without you, and now that we're no longer together, now I gotta show you the type of bitch that I can really be. You know what I mean?
Talk your shit.
It's just like it's not coming out of like I hate you, like men like you, like bleh. No, it's not that. It's nothing personal. It's just this is who I am. This is who I can be with or without you. You know? So.
Wow, that's good. And all this is happening because neither side know each other, to be honest, or neither side know themselves. You feel me? Because right now we're in a stage where like I said, neither side know each other. You know what I mean? Nobody's actually healing from their traumas. Nobody's actually trying to be better. Everybody is following. Like I said, like I said in the previous episode about the Black History Month, we have no leaders for anything. Like, we have no leaders for anything. We have no leaders on proper marriage. We have no leaders on proper relationships. We have no leaders on singleness. We have no leaders on mental. I'm not gonna say no mental health, because now that it's popular and it's a trend. Now we've seen all these mental health leaders out of nowhere. You feel me? But we have no leaders to actually show us the proper way, besides which should be our parents. But it's only so much our parents could do. You feel me?
Rare.
Especially when our views aren't where our parents are. Our views is on social media. Social media is full of bullshit.
Very much so.
Full of bullshit. So, though then in terms of that case, then let me ask you this. What are some things? Actually, give me 3 things that you feel or you wish men valued more in women that is overlooked.
I wish men valued my personality, for one. I feel like I've come across a lot of guys who tend to sexualize me and, you know, don't get to know me for me, which in a lot of times made me sexualize myself and made me forget that, hey, you're kind of bomb. My work ethic. In my last relationship, I had to end that relationship because he felt like, you're not making time for me. You're not doing this, whatever. And I felt like he was so focused on what I wasn't doing and wasn't aware of what I was doing. And it's just like, I'm in school, I work. And if you work and go to school, you know that life is not for the weak. It's just not for the weak, you know? So it's just like, for you to sit here and kind of bash me as a person and say, well, you're not doing this enough or you're not doing that enough. But it's just like, do you see what I do? You know what I mean?
The grind.
The grind, you know? So personality, work ethic, and my mind, I guess you could say.
Mental, yeah.
My mental, you know. I feel like there are a lot of guys out there who tend to miss what a girl can say, in a sense. Like, there are women out there who want to have, like, real conversations. So, you know, like this one, like, we want to have real conversations about life, politics. Who the hell wants to talk about politics? I don't know. But, you know, like, just, you know, real conversations, something that's not about sex. Something that's not what you doing, how you been, whatever. Real conversations, you know? And then I feel like when men come across those girls who can have those real conversations and have an opinion about something, someone, whatever, they like friend zone her. And it's just like, huh? You know, but then they end up dating the girl who's like, you know, doesn't have much to say, you know?
Yeah. And I want to touch on that, actually. And I'm not standing up for them, but I just want to touch on it because I've been there. You feel me? In terms of you know, the guys or the girls that have the conversations or the being just having good conversation in general, it's tough because the guys don't even know what they want most of the time. And it's not even just about not knowing what they want. They don't know what they want to even talk on or heal on.
Right.
You feel me? Because in order for you to have those deep conversations, you need to be deeply rooted into something. And a lot of time, the guys are not really rooted in goodness, or they don't have firm ground to stand on. So when you don't have a firm ground to stand on, and who you're following is social media and all this alpha male and sigma male and beta male, when what I've turned to realize is society separate all these 3 things when you need all 3 to survive. You feel me? The whole alpha male, I'm breaking down right now. The whole alpha male, beta male, and simp. Those are the 3 types of male that's on social media. So the alpha male is the provider and the protector of the family.
Right.
You need that. So you can't solely be just a provider and a protector to your family, because then you'll be Nick Cannon, because all you're doing is providing the money and protecting, and that's it. You feel me? Like, that's it. That's not enough. And then they say the beta males are the one that lets the woman walks all over them.
Oh, yeah.
And respectfully, I'm gonna say right now, yeah, women gut intuition be so on point that you just gotta respect it sometimes, bro. You just gotta respect it. So it's not really letting your women walk over you, but it's really just respecting that, hey, listen, if my lady tells me, and most of the time they be right, if my lady tells me, if I keep speaking to you, you gonna like me. You know what? I'm gonna listen to her. Nice meeting you, but we gonna be acquaintance. That's it. You feel me? To save me. Or if my lady is like, listen, I'm not feeling the spot right now. You feel me? Shit kinda hot. Let's get out of here. I'm gonna listen to my lady. We gonna get the hell up out of here. You feel me? That's just what it is. And number 3, the simp, which is the most important thing that you need to be for your women, which is empathetic, actually listen and actually cater.
Boy.
You feel me? A lover boy, CLB. So you need all 3 of these things in order to be a good man, to just be a good man in general, or be a good man to your partner. So the fact that society done break all these 3 things into a specific person, they tie it to a role model that you know everybody should follow is really tough. So that's why most time guys don't know what they have to speak about besides sex, because, well, everybody knows sex. You know, blame porn for that. Now you don't even need porn anymore. You got Instagram, Twitter, OnlyFans. You feel me? That's all we're surrounded by, sadly. So that's why that's all they know how to talk about. And some of them don't get it. So they try to slide in. You feel me? So that's what it is when it comes to that. So a lot of times, and quite frankly too, realistically, nobody's reading either. So none of the guys are reading. So all of these stuff, that's why I'm saying, like, this generation is doomed. Generation is fucked. Because a lot of the stuff that makes great conversations, a lot of the stuff that would make you a good conversationist is through reading, realistically. And me, I was in reading myself. I just started reading last year. You feel me? Because a lot of stuff that you learn are really in books.
Right.
You feel me? And through life experiences. But a lot of these people, they go through life experiences and then they turn to demon time and fuckboys, and all they know in fuckboy era is what? Sex. It's not really about character building or development. So that's why it's tough out here for women of your stature, or just women that want to have these real conversations. It's tough to have those real conversations when, especially, men are supposed to be the one that leads these conversations, and since they don't know themselves, they can't really be able to step in and take that role. You feel me? So that's what I really have to touch on that. And it's sad. It's sad, man. I feel like right now we're in the era where roles is being switched. You feel me? The women are stepping more into their masculinity, and the fellas stepping in more into their femininity.
Definitely.
And it's tough. It's sad. You feel me? That this is where we are right now.
Right.
And it looks like it's not changing anytime soon. And
I feel like it's making its way.
You think so?
It's making its peak. You know, making its peak. Because I met my boyfriend being like this chick who, you know, I ain't need no man for nothing. I don't need to pay for nothing. I'm good. Nigga. Like, I'm good. Like, you know, like, I just need your company. That's it. You know, that's it. But, you know, I met 2 people this year who have opened me up in a sense of, like, you know, how vulnerable I can be. Before I met my boyfriend and before I met one of, like, you know, my best friends or whatever, you know, I didn't realize how closed off I was till I met them. Because, for one, my friend, she was like, we were having a conversation. We had a little mishap or whatever. You know, it happens. And she tells me, she was like, why is it that you tell me things when you make the final decision, but you don't tell me your thoughts going up to that final decision? And I was just like, what do you mean? She was like, I feel like you're just so closed off. Like, what type of friend does that make me if I'm not able to hear you be vulnerable, right? And then my boyfriend, he was just like, I think at one point, I was just like going through something and I had like closed myself off or whatever. And he was like, you know, like, I want you to be able to talk to me. Like, I'm here for you. I'm your boyfriend, you know, talk to me, you know? And I'm just sitting here like, no. Like, as hard, like that. Like, I am hard-headed. I really, really am. As much as I don't want to admit it, I have my moments where I really am hard-headed. But then at some point, it became serious, and I started to like think to myself, I'm like, why can't I just sit here and talk and just let people know like what's going up with me sometimes? And that stems from my mom. That stems from people I've come across in life, where it's just like sometimes I feel like I can't talk to certain people because just like, you know, like for the most part, I've always been in my little corner. So it's just mostly always been me.
Yeah.
So granted, I have siblings, but for me, in my mind, it's just always been me. So it's just like whatever I go through alone, and I'll come back to you when I'm done with it. And that's just always been my pattern in life. So when you come across people who genuinely care for you and want to hear that thought process, and they want to hear the what ifs and blah, 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 like they want to hear the word vomit that's going in your mind. And it's just like, I'm not used to having someone to want to hear that word vomit. Yeah. So my boyfriend, I kind of made him a simp. How? I don't know. I really, really don't. I don't know.
any nigga that really wants you, he gonna simp up.
Right,
simple.
You know? So it's just like, when we first met each other, he was the closed off type. He's the one that didn't want to vent. And then next thing you know, like, later on in the relationship, we realized, okay, I'm the closed off one. I don't really want to talk about stuff. And at that point, he kind of like seen it at his moment to, you know, basically gain my trust in a sense to make me want to open up.
Gotcha.
So... Granted, it's not now that women are going to start opening up and going to want to start, you know, talking about what they feel, whatever. But eventually, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Like, we're getting there. It's not there, but we're getting there.
Okay,
you know?
Okay. And I wanna ask this question before we close off. Then, okay, so if women are starting to, well, not starting to, but women always want the men to open up and always want, you know, the men to speak to them and stuff of that sort. Who is that type of person to the women? Is that considered to be their best friends, or who is that person for them that makes them open up?
It's a little mix. It's a mix.
It's a mix. Because that's what I'm saying. Because before you answer that, the reason why I ask is because usually us guys, we talk to each other. Right. You feel me? But it's not everything we talk to a guy about, because it's like, niggas gonna cut your ass. Like, bro, you being a bitch. You know what I'm talking about. Right. Like, you feel me? And that's when we usually rely on the woman for.
To provide that sensitive.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now, who is that type of person for a woman, you know? Who do you have for that type of person?
For me, I think it would...
Oh, you did say it was a mix.
No, actually, now that I think about it, it's... Okay, my best friend would make me realize it, but my boyfriend will actually make me do it. Because my best friend, she'll be like, well, this is what I realized about you. This is what I've noticed, blah, blah, blah. So she'll just put it on the table. Here's the idea, right? But my boyfriend will be like, here's the idea. Let's fix it. So, like,
okay. You got a good man.
Like, with my boyfriend, because one thing about me is, like, if I have an issue, if I'm upset with you, whatever you did, I will just shut down. I'm not going to say nothing. I won't speak. I'll just call it a day. Because in my mind, whatever I say is kind of like invalid. Because I'm used to people asking me to tell them what's wrong. I tell them what's wrong. They don't do nothing about it.
Yep.
So
hate it. What's wrong? You tell them what's wrong, and it's damn.
They don't do nothing.
Hope you feel better.
Like what?
Help me, help me, nigga. Like, Mama, go ahead.
Nah, cause like with my boyfriend, like he'll just consistently just poke. And he'll just keep asking me, what's wrong? Are you okay? You're acting weird. Are you sure you're okay? Whatever. And he'll just keep poking. It's kind of just like a poke the bear type situation. But me, I don't growl. I kind of just cry. And I'm like, here's what happened. Whatever. And then like to realize, actually, let's dial it back a little bit. There was this one conversation me and my boyfriend had, and he did something. I realized that this is when I realized he was very impatient, and him being impatient for me can ruin the experience when we go out and stuff like that. So I was quiet for like an hour and some change, maybe 2, whatever. And he eventually got me to speak up to what I was saying. And he had said something that triggered me. He was like, like, just tell me what's wrong. And I'll say, I'm sorry. And I was like, okay, so what happens when you say you're sorry? And he's like, oh, well, we just go back to whatever. And I was like, right. So does it get fixed? And he was like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, okay, so what did I do? And I'm just sitting here like, okay, well, this is what you did, whatever. And then after we get through the whole thing, I'm crying, blah, blah, blah. And he eventually says, he was like, I want you to tell me when I do something that bothers you because I'm here for you. I'm here to be better for you.
Damn.
So it's just like from that day on, it was just like I just started opening up and I just couldn't stop,
That's good. I'm happy it's a couple of good guys out here. That still mess up. That's still doing their thing, man. We out here. For sure. We out here. So we're about to end it. You feel me? Women in society. Any final thoughts that you want to let the good guys and good girls out here know before we end it? Talk your shit.
Let's see. Okay. So the women who are repping Miss Independent and, don't really know how to express themselves emotionally right now, who are 20 and are going through that weird era where they don't really know how to be 20, I guess you could say. Let yourself live. Let yourself experience whatever. Let yourself go through the emotions. Let yourself...
Be careful now. Not whatever.
Be careful. Be careful. Definitely be careful. But, let yourself do what a human does and see how, how much you blossom in a sense. And to the guys who are seeing these women blossom, let them do that, and with that, follow them.
Yep.
Just match each other, I guess you could say.
Okay. And before I move on to my last piece of statement, any questions that you have in terms of this topic for the men that I could possibly answer for you? It's okay if you don't. Just giving you the opportunity to ask a question. You feel me? Because I know y'all be having questions like, well, how do y'all do this? Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just want to be able to give a point into that before I say my final part.
What's your opinion on women like Lizzo?
Shit. Okay. Wow. Okay. So my opinion with Lizzo, I feel like she's changing the narrative. You feel me? She's really real definition of living in my skin, and I don't care how you feel about it. You feel me? And what I see that's happening is that when Lizzo does it, it's yes. I'm saying yes, you go queen. Everything, yes, I support it. But let it be a guy that does it and he doesn't get that same type of support. And what do I mean by that is Ariel Spears. He's a famous comedian, and he was coming at Lizzo about the whole situation, and people were coming at him, saying, "Look at you, you're fat too, man. Look at your neck, you got no neck." Da da da. And they were coming at him instead of being like, "Well, y'all both big, so what is the problem here?" But they were more crucifying him instead of Lizzo, getting all the glory. And that's what I seen that happens here a lot of time, which is why I want to say something to the fellas, which was going to be my point, is that we got to keep it real like how the ladies do. Feel me? If you approach a lady and you're fat and you're broke and you're ugly, the lady is going to look at you in your face and tell you that. You feel me? But the fellas, like I said, were so chasing after the box or the kitty cat or the puss that we gas these ladies up, and now they get to a very high level where you would tell them the truth, and they were like, "No, that's lie." You know what I'm saying? He didn't tell me that. He didn't tell me that. And it's a lot of that that's going on around. So, Lizzo situation, hey, you go queen. I can't tell you anything. She has a man that loves her, so
she do.
That's all you need. You just need that one, and she found her one. So that's what I got to say about the Lizzo situation. You feel me?
Real careful with your words.
I have to. I have to be. You feel me? I'm on the thing. You put me on the spot. I got. You go, queen. That's to the fellas that stop gaslighting these ladies. Actually, tell them the truth. And to the ladies, we need you back to be feminine, man. I mean, I said feminine men. We need you back to being feminine. You feel me? Like, a lady cannot truly be feminine if she's being masculine. Like, that's not what you guys are supposed to be doing, which is why right now it's the soft girl era, because the ladies is noticing how hard it is to really step into that masculine energy. But that's really a defense mechanism for the women, because that's not what they really want to do. You feel me? So to the women, go back to being feminine and just wait, you know, patiently waiting, keep growing your mental, keep strengthening your mental, you feel me? And wait for that guy to come get you, because we don't like that masculinity, man. It's y'all scary when y'all in y'all masculine energy.
Why can't that be a good mix?
A good mix?
Yeah.
I read this thing that says, I read from this book, and it says that it's impossible for human beings to feel two emotions at the same time. So you cannot live in a mix. You have to be, that's why there's black and white. I mean, there's black and white, right or wrong. There's no in between. So you're either fully masculine or you're fully feminine. You can't be a mixture of both.
So it's impossible.
Then the only reason why you would dibble and dabble in both, that's because you don't have the right one to be in that other box or that other side. So once you find that man that steps in his masculinity, that's walking in his purpose, then will you be able to fully be in your femininity.
Okay.
Yeah. So this that part of the segment right here where you feel me? This that part. I have to be careful with my words, man. This that part of the segment when we allow you to, you know, give a free shout out to a brand or a business, or, you know, if you, like I said, hey mama, you feel me? This that part in time where you go ahead and give that shout out to who it is that you want. If you have anybody, or you can shout your own channel out, all that good stuff.
I need y'all to go subscribe to my channel.
Yes, sir.
You know, I haven't been posting lately, but I'm gonna get back on it. You know, life is treating me hard. But yeah, social media is Shara Jean _ all of them. So, you know, check me out.
Go ahead, for sure. And me, y'all already know. Sheesh, I'm gonna put them up. Like I said, I don't know what to do. I'm gonna put it up. I won't be having the people on top of my head when I'm revising. I have it, but they good at what they do. I promise you. Like, I don't give no shout out to fool people. I give it to actual people that deserve it and actually are great at their craft. So once again, thank you, Sharon, for coming on here and helping us understand what it is, the way that you guys think, or how it is that you guys think in your day-to-day life as a woman. You're starting off the March Madness episode right. This is the first one. We got 3 more coming. An episode every single week. I ain't gonna lie, I'm tired already. You feel me? But make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on all our socials in Spotify at epidassit __. That's EPIDASIT __. We love you, and I'm gonna see you next time. If you that shit, baby.
AP.sit.